Welcome to the ribbon cutting and grand opening for the Bob Crane Community Center. I am Steve Shoney. I am the city manager for the city of Upper Arlington, and I am so excited to welcome all of you here today. So depending on who you ask, this day has been anywhere from 60 to 40 to 5.5 years in the making. And it's so exciting to see everybody here. Before we officially turn everyone loose on the building and open for our regular business, we do want to take a few moments to commemorate the occasion and thank everyone who made this possible, because you don't have something that's this big and this important without having to thank a lot of people. So the first person I want to invite up today is our mayor, Yukemi Awakasin-Jeter. Yukemi it leads a fantastic city council that has made this possible. So Yukemi.
Good afternoon. Okay, guys, this is incredible. I don't know what I expected, but to have a standing room and all the seats taken just reaffirms the excitement that our community has for this center. Now, if you're here for groundbreaking, you know that we were all in coats freezing. So I very much prefer this weather that we have. So again, thank you all for coming here today. My first order of business is to recognize the wonderful folks that I have the honor to serve alongside in representing all of you, and those are my colleagues on council, Vice President Brian Close, they deserve every round of applause, Kathy Adams, John Kulowitz, Jim Lynch, Heidi Muntz, and Todd Walter. You all should know you're in great hands. I get to see their brilliant minds and servant hearts every time that we have to pass a vote on behalf of each of you. So thank you all for everything that you do. Also thrilled to recognize several former council members that are here with us, many who envisioned and kicked off this process that we are standing in today. And that's a former council member, Sue Ralph, that's with us. I saw former member Michaela Burris somewhere. She's probably chasing her toddler around. Former council member Carolyn Casper. Former council member Linda Marga is here. And a guy that needs no introduction, and former Mayor Kip Greenhill. We also have a couple of school board members with us today, as well as administrators. I think Lori Trent is here. Liz Stump, I believe you're here. Hi, Liz. And I see school board member Nidhi Satyani in the crowd over there. We have our current superintendent, Dr. Bob Hunt, with us. And our former superintendent, Paul Emhoff, is here, who I have the pleasure of walking in with. So much of what we are able to accomplish for this community hinges upon our strong partnership between the city and the schools, and this community center was no exception. So Dr. Hunt, members of the school board, I want to just extend a heartfelt gratitude to each of you for your continued support and collaboration. Upper Arlington is just fortunate to be supported by state representatives. When we embark on projects such as these, we have to look to our representatives. And so Ohio House Representative and our Minority House Rep, Allison Russo, is here with us. And she has shared a House commendation with us in recognition of this special occasion. I also want to recognize Ohio Senator William DeMora that is here with us as well. And he brought us a letter of congratulations from the President of the Ohio Senate. I want to sincerely thank both of you for always checking in on us, our partnership, and delivering on what we need. I also want to recognize former Ohio Senator Stephanie Coonsey, who is, there she is. Thank you. UA was previously yours, and you continue to be such a big cheerleader for us, so thank you for being here today. I know our library director, Beth Hatch, is here. Our Tri-Village Chamber, Katie Ellis, are you in here somewhere? Katie, great. It's great to see you. Listen, all these community leaders listen, work, collaborate with us, and so I wanted to make sure that we recognize them today. Thank you for being part of the folks that helped this incredible moment come to fruition. Now, I've had the honor of participating in many notable milestones here in UA, but without a doubt, this one today is one I am most proud of. I know when I moved to UA in 2018, you know, like many people that move into a community, you have your, or maybe it's just me, that's the A type, you know, you have your spreadsheet with all the things that you want, and then the things that are misses. And certainly a community center, a gathering space when I moved here in 2018 was something that was missing. And so when I was elected to join this illustrious council in 2021, I was just handed a baton of work that had been done. You know, we heard City Manager Shoney say earlier, depending on who you ask, this has been 60 years coming or 6 years coming, right? And so, oh my goodness, I just noticed former Mayor Seidel is in the audience. We must have missed you when you walked in. It's great to see you. But I was handed this baton to just bring this thing across the finish line from the incredible support we had on the ballot, almost 80%. Just, is it, City Manager Shoney, we're 5 people short of 80%? Okay, but there was that incredible support that was an emphatic yes, that we need this, we need this center. And so my entire time that I have served on council, it has been the wind beneath my wings and how we've decided and rethought things and reshaped things. Listen, no one knew that we were going to have all the world events that would lead to inflation, so we've had to reimagine this place since 80% of you said you wanted this center. And I couldn't be prouder to have broken ground, made all the decisions and the votes, and worked with an incredible staff to bring this place here today, because we have more than just a space. I was talking to Ms. Joni earlier, and it's like, you look around here, and this is exactly what we envisioned, a space where people young and young at heart, people of all walks of life can gather. And it will be more than that. We'll meet here for fun, we'll meet here to exercise, we'll meet here for new skills. Maybe sometimes you may be avoiding someone and this will be the place that you would come, or maybe you may choose to just work in a corner here. A day like yesterday, when it was raining cats and dogs outside, I had an opportunity to come to this center because it was the preview day, and every floor that I went to was occupied. Someone was either shooting hoops, they were swimming, and everyone was joyous. You could just see it. Despite how gloomy it was outside, everyone in here was having fun. And that's what the space was designed. It was designed for life, how you want to live it. In just a few minutes, you'll hear from City Manager Shoney about the incredible planning and teamwork that it's taken over the span of the more than 7 years to bring us this historic moment. And I'll let him do that, but City Manager Shoney, Assistant City Manager Theo, Parks and Rec Director Debbie McLaughlin, and our Superintendent Jeff Anderson, you are by far the most dedicated staff. Round of applause. And this community is so lucky to have you boots on the ground every single day, making this vision come to life. I'll end with a story before I invite my colleague, Vice President Close, to talk a little bit about the task force and thank them, and a little bit about the Crane family. But I do want to end with a story of, and anyone that's seen me speak knows I do a lot of stories, and this is a quick one. The day that we passed the vote for the GMP, my kids are looking at me like GMP, that's a guaranteed maximum price vote for this building. Of course, my colleagues and I, we've talked, we've deliberated, and we're taking the vote. And when we're taking the vote, Councilmember Kulowitz talks about a quote from Sir Winston Churchill. And the quote is, we build our buildings, I'm paraphrasing, and then thereafter the buildings shape us. And Councilmember Kulowitz, that quote has always stuck with me, because in fact, I went back and I was like, I went to go look it up and understand the context in which he said that. And he said that quote back in the 1940s. The chambers in London had just burned down, had been bombed actually, hadn't burned down, had been bombed. And they were rebuilding the House chambers when he made that quote. And said, listen, we'll rebuild this building, but thereafter it will shape us. And what he meant by that is that the physical attributes of the building are there. We shape it, we've done incredible work in understanding what people want. But thereafter, the memories that are made in the building, the way people live, the way people interact with this building will become how it shapes Upper Arlington. And I couldn't be more excited to see what that future is here for Upper Arlington. For years, we've had events that have brought us together, whether it was our July 4th parade, whether it was our Labor Day Arts Festival. We've never had a building to bring us together, and now we finally do. And I can't wait to see how it shapes us. Vice President Close, you have the floor.
All right, everybody. Two more, because you guys have clapped on every other one. Two more, we have former Mayor Don Leach in the back here. And I think our former Mayor Brendan King has arrived as well. So if we can give Brendan a round of applause. So it feels a little odd for me, maybe giving some of the history, because I feel like I've jumped on this train kind of late, as Kimmy said, as a junior councilman back in 2019, 2018, 6 years ago. I'll start there, which seems like 45 years ago, as Steve said, because that was pre-COVID. So we have a big distinction as to when this whole process started. But it started when we formed a community task force of community leaders that we put together to be able to determine whether and what we thought this community center should be. So we're talking, pre-concept, we're talking about whether we can do a community center, where the community center should be, and what it should look like. So each of us on council back then, 2019, appointed somebody to this committee who did a deep dive into this and started to try to create the process that we could bring this to you. Because as we said, this thing has been going on for 45 years. The late, great, Marianne Krause, and everything that everybody since then has done to bring this together, it was nothing more than a thought and idea until this community task force was formed, where they did all this hard work. I think it was originally, I'm looking at Todd, because Todd was my appointee. Originally, I think it was a 9-month process that ended up being about 18 months. Again, COVID being involved, all that went through. But we started with the 2 leaders of this group, Margie Pizzuti and Nick Lashetka. They hosted pop-up events, meetings, poured over financial plans. And again, this committee dedicated countless hours. And so let me run through real quick and introduce the committee. Diane Albrecht, Kelly Boggs-Lape, Supin Bowie, Yanitza Bragers Marrero, Greg Comfort, Wendy Gomez, Mary Hamilton, Chuck Mazanovsky, Linda Mager, Linda Molaski, Brian Pereira, Matt Rule, Todd Walter, and Bill Westbrook. If we can give them a round of applause. So fast forward 2021, after all those pop-up events, the Community Task Force came forward and presented its final report and recommendations to us on City Council, led at the time by Kip Greenhoe. And through that process, we brought forward, as was mentioned, the community ballot in 2021 with a passage of 80%. And I think with that vote, we were kind of off and running, right? And we'd say it's a seamless process. I could sum it up real quickly, and here we are today. But as we know, COVID, the process, it's been something that it's actually hard to believe. I've been on council for 8 years. This has taken the entire time that I've been on council. I tell people all the time, what's the hard part about being in the government? And I say it moves slow. But then when something like this is built, it's a dedication to all those former members who had served and all the great staff that we have now. So let's see. So then we roll into the financing. How are we going to build this thing? Finance committee looked at the financials and determined that about 10% of the cost would be achievable with private donations. So in comes the Upper Arlington Community Foundation. And in the summer of that year, the foundation announced a capital campaign with a goal of raising $8 million in private support. This was kicked off and would not be able to be done today. None of us would be in this room today if it wasn't for the $2 million gift by the late Loanne Crane in honor of her husband, Bob Crane. So with this large inspirational, transformational pledge, the community rallied behind the support, and I know many people looking around the room that you all helped contribute to this. And in the end, we ended up, the Upper Arlington Community Foundation raised $8.1 million in private support for this community center. So next, I'd like to bring up the Crane family. Tanny, Jamie, Rob, please come up. Thank you all for coming out. The support has been great. Thank you.
Well, good afternoon. My goodness gracious. I am Rob Crane. I am the third. Bob is junior. I am the third. I apologize for the mask. I just got back from Alaska where I was lobbying about tobacco and vaping. And I have a question for you. Do you know what the capital of Alaska is? You got it. It's a dad joke, right? I'm here to talk about dad. Of course, this building is a lot more things than just an athletic center. It's a community center, my sister reminds me all the time. But I want to talk about athleticism just a little bit. My uncle, who is 4 years younger than my dad, passed away a few years ago, and I happened to be able to take care of him in his last few months. And one day he took me aside and said, "You know, your dad was as good or better an athlete than I." I said, "Wait, Jim, you played football for Ohio State for 3 years. You're a better athlete than my dad. I know my dad." No, he was quarterback at Upper Arlington for 2 years, led him to an 8-1 record, more touchdowns than anybody else. I said, Jim, no, that's the Percocet talking. He said, "No, he was also the star on their basketball team." At Arlington, I said. He walked on at Ohio State. No. He said, yes, ask your mom. And I did, I confirmed it with my mother. And he'd never, in all the conversations we'd had all of my life with him, about athletics, about my sports, about everything else, he'd never mentioned that to me at all. I think it went to the kind of self-effacing, behind the scenes, get it done aspect that was his. That's not to say that he wasn't competitive with me, because I would play tennis with him. And let's just say it was hell playing with him. He's 24 years older than I, a smoker. I played at Upper Arlington and played briefly at Northwestern. I'm a collegiate tennis player. I'd come home at age 19 to play with him. He'd wait for a rain-soaked day like today, where the courts at Northam were like mud, and my blazing serve didn't blaze anymore. And he would dink and drop shot and lob and dink and make me crazy until I was the king of the unforced error. Now, I would say he also imparted a lot of other things to me. All dads, I think, do this. They impart aphorisms. One of his favorite was, inspect what you expect. And look what we inspected and expected here, an amazing thing. The second was, from whom to which much has been given, much is expected. That's the way he thought about Upper Arlington. From the time that the Depression drove my grandfather into bankruptcy, and my father and uncle and sister and aunt sat on the stoop and watched everything in their home in Upper Arlington carried out the door, this community embraced him, raised him up, gave him his respect back and a tennis racket, and kept him going. And he felt like he had to give back to that, to embrace this community back, to build it up, whether it's the Columbus Foundation, the Upper Arlington Community Foundation, United Way. He found a way behind the scenes to make it work. Now, the final aphorism I'm going to give you is about getting things done. He would send me these long handwritten letters. All of us got these. I got them more because I was such a screw up. And he said in this note, persistence isn't everything, but it's damn close. And that brings me to my final point. And that is, without the persistence of one person and maybe her husband as well, this doesn't happen. I want to talk about my sister, Jamie. Persistence, determination, the ability to navigate, and excuse me, Yukemi and Steve, the Byzantine politics of Upper Arlington, made this thoughtful, unbelievably comprehensive, gigantic, difficult project come to absolute fruition. Jamie, thank you.
This is the way it always is in our family. I have to wait to see what Rob's going to say, and then I just fill in the blanks. But I do want to thank you, Rob. I want to talk a little bit about Loanne Crane, our mother, and the love of her life Bob Crane. So Loanne did not grow up in Upper Arlington. She grew up in Martins Ferry, Ohio, but came to Ohio State and met Bob Crane, and the rest is history. So they moved to Upper Arlington and raised their family, and Loanne Crane, like what happens around here, was embraced by the Upper Arlington community spirit. And all 4 of her children went to Upper Arlington schools. Our mom joined the school board, and we went door to door knocking to get votes. So we truly embraced the spirit of Upper Arlington. And when someone named Margie Pizzuti came to visit my mother to ask to consider a gift, she couldn't even get the words out before my mom said, "You had me at hello." The idea of connecting her husband, her beloved Bob, our father, to this 40-year dream of a community center couldn't be a better match. This iconic building, she and Dad are looking down, so proud of this moment, this intergenerational building, as Steve and others have talked about yesterday, was filled, and Yukami spoke about, filled with love, filled with joy, and it couldn't make us more happy. So thank you so much for all your spirit. And as I mentioned on Friday night, you know you've come of age, or you know you've come of value when you go to Google Map, as I did Friday, and I put in Bob Crane Community Center, and voila, we've made the big time. Thank you.
So Rob wants to give me a lot of credit, but I was one small cog in the wheel. There are contributions big and small that made this building a reality. There's over 500 supporters that contributed to the campaign. And if you tour the building today, you're going to see plaques acknowledging many of those donors. I want to thank everyone that contributed, and we should all just be so proud. This is amazing. But I really wanted to say a few words about the driving force behind this building, and that would be Marianne Krause. Marianne literally worked on bringing a community center to Upper Arlington for 40 years. She doggedly went after it. She was able to be here for the groundbreaking, for the first beam, or the final beam raising, but unfortunately she died last year and never got to see the completion of this amazing, you might even say iconic building. I know her legacy of community spirit will continue to inspire everyone that gathers here. And now I'm going to hand it over to the true quarterback of the Bob Crane Community Center, our city manager, Steve Shoney.
Adjusted. Oh, and that adjusted. I want to thank all of the Crane family for being such leaders in this. It's been fantastic, and one of the best things has been getting to know and work with you even more than I knew you in the past. Another person who it's been a real pleasure to know and get to work with is Dan Like. I've got to read, I actually have to put the glasses on to read his title, because you would think he works for government with a title like this. Spend the night there, it's part of Dan's portfolio. So, Dan, if you'd like to come up and say a couple words.
I thought that was a bad sign when the mic cut off. Thought, time's up. You don't want to hear from me. Thank you, Steve, Yukemi, members of the council, staff, Upper Arlington staff. On behalf of Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center, I share in this excitement.
I've been around Columbus for over 40 years, so I've seen it from afar. I lived a little bit of my time in Upper Arlington. Ohio State's been involved in this conversation for probably 5 to 6 years. It started with our proposal in 2021, but what I appreciate about the Upper Arlington team is we were just open, we were honest, we had the same goal, we were persistent, we were determined to get it done. It was probably one of the longer negotiations I've been a part of, but we always kept, I think, the right attitude and the long-term goal because we knew how special this was going to be. So I get the pleasure of standing up here on behalf of Ohio State. We've got a lot of Buckeyes in the crowd. See Dr. Andy Thomas, Chief Clinical Officer, resident. I call him Dr. Buckeye. He knows everyone and know everything about Ohio State. I saw Dr. Pat and Steve Gabby hiding over there, former CEO of Ohio State University of Wexner Medical Center, Dr. Pat Gabby, founder of the Moms to Be program, really investing in wellness and community programs. And so we're thrilled to be a part of this. I'm thankful to my Ohio State colleagues, the project team. I truly do appreciate how much care and passion you put into every project. And not going to name everybody, you know who you are. I'm looking at some of them, and I really appreciate you so much. For me, I've been fortunate to be involved in many ribbon cuttings at Ohio State, and it's always a day of reflection and a day of gratitude. I tend to look always forward, but this is a day that I think we can all just really appreciate one another and share in this joy and this excitement. I really appreciate, and I think, as stated, that it was worth the wait. I think if this was done on a different decade over the 40 years, it wouldn't have been this special. So during the tours, everyone will hear from smarter people than me as you tour Ohio State spaces, but we will occupy over 35,000 square feet of this beautiful center. And you'll hear some of the things that we will offer. And these services are complementary to the services we offer just south of here at Outpatient Care Upper Arlington. And we are thrilled to be able to invest in programs and services that are about wellness, restoration, and healing, very much building a healthy community. So just real quickly, this will be the first time our James Cancer Supportive Care and James Care for Life programs are telling me are all together, clinical programs and educational programs, supportive programs all together under one roof, offering many different services. I'll let them share that with you. It's a remarkable space, including beautiful multi-purpose rooms, art therapy, music therapy, demonstration kitchen. Be our new home for our Center for Integrative Health. Where do we have Center for Integrative Health? Yeah. Very excited about that. We have, Don Leach is a member of the advisory council. Great for your support. Dr. Steve Gabby is as well. Mariana Klatt has reminded me yesterday that she's been without heat for 4 years in her current space. So she has heat now. It feels good in here. So. The Center for Integrative Health is all about, whole person healing, mind, body, and spirit. So we'll let the team really share some of the great work that they do. We'll also have our fantastic physical therapy team, our evidence-based treatments, and offering personalized care to restore, to recover, and help you gain functionality back in your life. And one of the many programs that'll be offered here as well is our Exercises Medicine program. So we'll partner with your physician, your care provider, and help you successfully start on your exercise journey. For many of us, maybe exercise hasn't been, part of our life, and it can be quite daunting, where to get started. And Exercises Medicine really tailors that to the individual and helps you get started in a very safe and comfortable way. So that's one of the many programs, that we'll be offering. So in closing, I know I'm in the way of fun, so I'll stop talking. But in closing, we're deeply committed to this partnership, and it's a privilege to have been entrusted, with this opportunity, because I know there was choice, and we are very grateful that you chose Ohio State University. So on behalf of Ohio State, thank you again, and I look forward to years of a healthy relationship and healthy lives. Thank you.
So thanks, Dan. He didn't name names, but I'm going to name a couple. I especially want to thank Jody Curry, John Ridgway, Garth Dada, Annie Marsico, Heidi Orsini, and Brendan. I'm going to get your name wrong. I'm so sorry. Griesberger. I just know Brendan. You guys have been such wonderful partners throughout this process. So I do have one kind of small thing that I overlooked. You would be shocked at the number of conversations I had about a tire for folks who are going to be on the podium or sitting up here today. A bunch of people coordinated. I didn't get the memo about wearing tennis shoes, so I feel a little bad about that. I do want to start now running through a whole bunch of acknowledgments, and I am going to name a lot of names. But before I do that, behind every single person who I'm going to thank, there's a spouse and kids or partner or parents who somebody picked up the slack while they were working on this project. So behind every single person I'm going to name, I want to say thank you to your family. I especially want to thank my own wife, Holly DeBelco-Shoney, who's in the back of the room. She has been a great supporter, frankly, a great teacher. All the intergenerational stuff you see in this is really influenced by her. She is a professor in the College of Social Work at The Ohio State University, and has really helped me through this process. All right, here we go. Lots of thank yous. I want to start, Ukemi named off the folks who are on council who have been here. I in particular want to focus on the folks who were here when I started. So Kip, Brendan, Michaela, Michelle, Carolyn Casper, Sue Ralph, all of you have left council since this day, but we would not be here without you. So thank you. I also want to echo Ukemi's comments, thanking the schools. Fantastic partnership with the current board, the previous board, with both superintendents. It's been fantastic. We are so fortunate to have a community where the partnership between the schools and the city is so strong. So again, thank you so much to you guys. We talked about the Community Center Feasibility Task Force. We also have had a lot of help from our Parks and Recreation Advisory Board, our Cultural Arts Commission, and the Community Relations Committee. If there are any members, I know there are some members of those committees here. If you would please raise your hand and wave to the crowd. So getting this site and building something like this on a tight site like this is really, it's never been done before, right? This is very unique. This is the first of its kind. And that would not have started without a gentleman by the name of Frank Cass from Continental Development being willing to share this crazy vision with us. And without Frank's help, we wouldn't be here today. We also wouldn't be here today if it weren't for Kroger Company. When we came to them and said, okay, it's time. It's time to do something with this site. They allowed us into their process for selling the site and let us talk to the businesses that were looking at this. And so I want to thank them. I want to thank Echo Realty. I saw George. Where'd George go? I saw him running around somewhere. There he is. George from Echo Realty has been our partner. George with Echo, Giant Eagle, and all the businesses in and around Kingsdale. Thank you for your patience. The dust is done, and it's been just a fantastic partnership. So we started this off with a feasibility process, and so that process was led by Williams Architects and OHM Advisors. Nan Whaley from Williams is a longtime resident of this community. She was fantastic. I ran into her. She was shooting hoops in the gym the other day. We would not be here without them having set the foundation that let us put together a financial plan and a building plan that really allowed this to kind of kick off well. The first group we hired in this process was our owner's rep. So if you've never built an $82 million community center, you might not realize that you need someone who actually knows how to do that on your team. We've got a great team, but we've never done it before. So we hired Pizzuti Solutions, and Jim Russell, Ashley Sen, Jeff Less, Don Wheaton, Sophia Lanza were with us every step of the way. They helped us through all the hard stuff from the very, very beginning through, redesigns and change orders and all the crazy stuff. So their attention to detail has been absolutely fantastic. We knew when we picked this site, we would be needing a world-class design team to help us figure out this kind of three-dimensional chess that we were having to work through here. So we picked a team that really guided us through that process. We picked MSA Sport and their partners at Perkins & Will, and they took us through pizza box exercises and taught me to use the term furniture language. And without Katie Freeland, Keith Hall, Maria Rosemarin, Tyler Akins, and Tricia Gagari, we would have never gotten here. And I saw Brian from Perkins & Will came down from Chicago today to help out too. So Brian, I'm so glad you did not let me replace the, where is he? Didn't let me replace the terracotta panels with metal. Thank you very much. That was an idea when we were struggling with budget. So Brian, you were right. I was wrong. Once you have the designers, you need a team to build it. And we are blessed in this community to have a lot of folks who know how to build really complex stuff. And in this case, two of them came together. So Elford's Mike Fitzpatrick and Continental's Josh Corna put together an amazing partnership and a team of construction managers and contractors to literally do the heavy lifting and detail work. So Adam, Brant, Donnie, Mitch, Caleb, and Ian managed every change order, every delivery, every kid who, I saw Donnie. Where is he? Oh, there he is. Every kid who climbed the tower crane at 2 in the morning. I'll tell you what, our police can put the fear into a kid, but there's nothing like having Donnie show up at 2 in the morning with a bad attitude when you've tried to climb his tower. So, these guys have been absolutely fantastic. Together, these groups have designed and built what is, without a doubt, the best community center in North America. Period. End of story. So now it is my distinct pleasure to introduce the person who has put together the team that helped us really listen to all of you and design this, and has put together just an amazing team of people that are absolutely going to run this thing. Debbie McLaughlin.
Thank you, Steve. And I am very honored to be the leader of the best recreation team nationwide, if not worldwide. Yes. Yes. As you can see, they're standing around. We have our green shirt team here. Very proud of our team and everything we have accomplished along the way. We have a very strong team, both individually and collectively. Each member has utilized their expertise, experience, and a passion for service in the operations of this facility. Our team put in countless hours and utilized each person's experience to establish the structure and processes for the many detailed aspects of our operations. We all knew it was going to be a marathon, but I think it was really more of an obstacle course. We had twists, turns, and backtracking, but we did that, and we did it because of our labor of love in this process to make sure it was right for the guest experience, as well as for our operations and our staff. Being committed to the best experience is where we reevaluated aspects, we made some modifications. But especially in the last month, you ask a lot of our staff, and we just kept giving and giving. In the last month, we navigated the construction wrap-up, systems training, and move-in, while at the same time hiring and training over 130 new employees, operating the senior center, and continuing to plan our summer outdoor operations yet still to come. So we kept everything in stride while we also took this on. So a great, great team effort for that. This illustrates the dedication of each team member, of which I am extremely grateful. There are a few employees, it is an honor for us and a privilege for our team that we get to be the ones that create the Upper Arlington way of operating a world-class community center. There are a few employees that I would like to individually recognize. First, Jeff Anderson, our project manager from the feasibility study to design, department rebranding, construction, and into operations. Yeah. Yes. Jeff has coordinated with contractors and city staff in every single aspect, managed contracts, communications, and every intricate detail. I don't know how he does it. We ask the questions, he has the answers. It just works. Yes. And he has a key part in delivering this project on time and on budget. So thank you very much, Jeff. Matt Leber, our recreation superintendent. He has been involved in this project since the 2017 comprehensive plan, of which the idea of studying indoor recreation came about. His role expanded during this time to oversee facility operations. He has provided great vision and leadership for recreation programs and operations. So thank you, Matt. TJ Putnam, our community center manager. He has put his heart and soul into planning the operations of this facility since the day we hired him. He, along with Tristan Sutton-Jennings, who I think is standing up against the window over here, they created all of the operating processes with the guest experience in mind, but also thinking of our own staff operating efficiencies. Thank you. Elise Kendrick, our recreation manager, for leading the efforts for our program team to utilize all of these new spaces with a wealth of programs meeting the interests and the needs of our community. If you look at our activity guide, job well done. For Steve Shoney, our city manager, and Jackie Thiel, our assistant city manager, for their leadership, guidance, and passion, and truly a lot of fun and enjoyable process along the way as well. So thank you both. The Bob Crane Community Center is world-class, not just by design, but by its operations and programs as well. However, our team did not do this alone. The Parks and Recreation Advisory Board, starting in 2017 at the onset of the department's comprehensive plan, have guided us with assessing recreation spaces and programs, user affordability, and a customer perspective. So very much appreciative to all of the board members from 2017 to now, so thank you. One of the great attributes for a city of our size is how every department brings their expertise into a project of this magnitude. Some have had to develop new processes to support our operations, our expanded team, and new technology. Each department deserves recognition, and I'm very grateful to have had their continued support. So if we could recognize the entire city departments that have helped us along the way as well. All of our employees have invested long hours, especially these last few months. A special thank you to all of our families as we were laser focused on the community center. I appreciate all of your understanding of all the time and focus that we have had here at work instead of at home. So thank you for our team, to all of our family members. And finally, for the Crane family, on behalf of our department, we are honored that we have the privilege of being the team to open the Bob Crane Community Center. It is also a responsibility that we take seriously. We are committed to providing the best operations for the Upper Arlington community, as well as, in the name of your family, every customer, every day. So thank you very much.
So I've only got like a half an hour more. For all the kids in the room, that really was just a joke. I forgot two folks, very important folks to thank. First of all, I want to thank Letha and Wendy Pugh. So they are the folks behind Core Cafe, which is our cafe down in the lobby. Those of you who like to be healthy will think of them as being behind Bake Me Happy. Those of you who like a good burger will think of them as being behind Preston's. I'm so excited to have them in this. It took me a little bit to convince Letha that this would make sense, but I think we're finally there. So we're excited to have her in the building. So go down there, check out their food, get a coffee. It's fantastic. And there is one other great partner who I missed in the beginning of this, and that is Jessica Grisey. Jessica, where is she? I don't know if she's still in the room or, oh, there you are. She's also got twin boys who, if they're still in the room, I can't, yeah, they're gone. We would not be here without Jessica and her partnership at the foundation, so thank you. All right, so in this building, we are all about safety first. So with what I am about to say, absolutely no running. Also, be particularly careful around Mike Fitzpatrick. When we did the groundbreaking, I don't know if you caught it, it actually made TV. Mike took a face full of dirt. Was that you? Okay. You stay away from the scissors. So we're gonna do one ceremonial ribbon cutting up here, and then for the following folks, if you can, somewhat expeditiously, head downstairs. Folks from the Community Center Feasibility Task Force, from the Foundation's Capital Campaign Committee, other elected officials, our construction and design team, and then our board and commission members. We're gonna do a couple other ones down in the lobby with the nice thing behind it, but while we got everybody here, we do wanna do one ribbon cutting with the following folks, and as I say your name so you can come up, but grab a scissors, don't run. All of our current and former council members, Jim, Tanny, and Rob, Debbie, Jeff, Jackie, Dan, and Emma. Is that everybody? Okay, that's everybody, so come on up.